We've got a few hundred people today. I think it's a very, very exciting webinar. I'm really excited about it. Talk about all the new releases coming out.
Absolutely.
So we are delivering a lot more goodies today. And the way we're going to do things today is, it's a long one. We got a 2-hour webinar. And the first hour, we're going to go over what we're seeing in the market, some really important marketing stats for you guys to know. And we're going to go over a quick review of the stuff we've just released. And we're going to go over stuff that we're releasing literally like this week. And then we're going to go over some really the most important releases that we have coming up in the next few months. So that will all be in the first hour. And in the second hour, we've got an Ask Us Anything. So we just thought it'd be really cool to have a, Ylopo professor and founder and realtor in residence panel. And you guys can just fire away and ask us what you want to ask us. And we might plead the fifth on some questions, right? Right, G? But, we'll try to answer as many as possible.
Yes.
So just welcoming everybody, kind of buying a little time here as people join the webinar. We've got myself, Howard Tager, CEO and founder of Ylopo. We've got G, who's our head of product and marketing and co-founder of Ylopo. And we've got Barry Jenkins, our original and head realtor in residence, and Laura Combrink, our second realtor in residence, and Livia, our newest star realtor in residence, and my favorite Ylopo professor, Mike Bernier, from Minnesota. So everyone's in different states here except for G and I. Gee, we're gonna have to switch that text around at some point. That Ylopo University is always backwards, and we always get the comments that it's backwards.
You just have to turn mirroring off. That's all it is.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, G's got mirroring off.
No.
So yeah. So Mike, what are things like in Minnesota in terms of real estate activity? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Is that just me? I couldn't hear him.
How about now?
There you go. Yeah, perfect. How are things in Minnesota?
As you see, it's super sunny. We got sand at the beach here. It's beautiful. Yeah, so in Minnesota, look, I'll tell you one thing. Our spring market's just starting right now. Things have been down with the COVID thing, but we have also seen amazing success with people that are proactive and on top of their lead generation.
Awesome. And Livia, what's going on in the state of Massachusetts? Tough
Sun is out today. We're pretty excited. It feels like spring on the Cape. Same thing. Real estate is in a bit of a lull right now. Remember, we're a luxury second home market, but the conversations are phenomenal. We just had another closing today, so things are moving.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Barry, what's going on in Virginia?
I mean, I don't know about the rest of the agents in Virginia, but literally the second all this went down, we pivoted to a digital model. And honestly, we haven't slowed down. I think our area slowed down a little bit, but we have this really cool radar that I like to call Ylopo. And that radar is helping us find the people that aren't as affected by the shutdown. And so we're still closing a lot of homes, still listing a lot of homes. And because there's more sellers right now that think I should wait, and there's still buyers, when we put a home on the market, it normally sells in like a day or two because there's just not a lot. So it's a really weird moment, but I think I found our niche. And that's why, this community is so powerful. So.
And Laura, what's going on in your market?
What's going on in our world is we're jumping up from 28% market share to 48% market share.
Grab the market share. Cultivate and conquer. I love it.
So we are definitely still selling homes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And that's a great segue to G. G, let's take a look at a national level here and dive into the presentation and show us what's happening.
Awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, I love talking to clients who are still doing a lot of deals, right now. And I've had 3 of those calls today. So very, very happy. Excellent. Should I get started, Howard?
Yeah. Go ahead. I had an unbelievable call today. It's like the best way to start my day because, well, anyway, there's a little bit of shuffling of the deck at Realtor.com going all in on Op City. So our biggest client in the world just upped his pay-per-click budget massively, but we'll talk about that later. All right, let's go.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so some really exciting stats that we're coming out and looking at. So, let me start with Google traffic because that is very much a barometer for overall how much interest there is in real estate, right? And what you're looking at here is a graph of how many people are searching for the keyword homes for sale on a national level, right? We can see here is usually toward December, at the very beginning of the month there, of December, that is usually the lowest traffic of the year because everyone's, holiday, spending time with family over the holidays. And then as soon as hits December 26th, that traffic starts going up, right? So in January, February, and March, you see a consistent increase in search traffic. And guess what? When kind of COVID kind of started in the U.S. in early March, and then kind of stay-at-home orders started happening, there was a dip in the amount of interest. Since then, in the last 2 weeks in April, we have seen the highest level of home search traffic, not just for the year, guys, but pretty much for all of last year as well. So, everyone's pent up at home. Everyone's looking for new ways to improve their living situation. We're seeing all-time traffic highs on the Google side for people looking for homes for sale. And that data has really carried through to how our cost per lead and our economics are looking like for our clients. In December of 2019, we were seeing an average cost per lead for our clients of $5.22, right? By February, we were at $4.84 because traffic had increased, the costs have come down because there's more people that are looking for real estate. In March, we hit near records of $4.06, right? Almost under $4 a lead, which was already close to an all-time Ylopo low. And in April, this last 2 weeks, our cost per lead now is under $3.50, which is just bonkers, right? That means that for the clients who are advertising, they're literally getting almost twice as many leads as they were getting at the end of last year. And we're just seeing that trend continue. So I think real estate interest we're seeing go up, which as a result of the interest going up and there's less advertisers on Facebook, we're seeing record lows on our cost per lead for all of our clients. Anything you guys want to add right here before I move on?
Well, I'm sure others do as well, but I would say that what the Google side tells me is that anyone that is online right now and is searching in Google, to me, that takes their intent just a knock above the normal intent. I think there's a lot of people that are looking to make transitions right now because they realize that things have been disrupted. And with the social media 50% higher, it's not surprising that the lead cost has gone down. Do you guys have any questions or comments on any of this so far?
Well, I was just going to chime in with what you said, Barry. Same thing we're seeing. The intent seems to be a little more serious than before, which is weird because you think with the more people searching, the less intentional it would be. But we're actually seeing the reverse is true. I think there's so much shifting happening in people's lives that decisions they might have been putting off, they're actually having the time to make now. And the conversations that we're getting, not only is it cheaper for us to get in front of them, but the conversations are much richer in information to determine timeline. It's really exciting for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what's interesting is this is paid media, right? This is, our clients spending dollars to generate leads coming off of Facebook and PPC. Here's what's happening on the organic side. So in the beginning of March, we were already seeing an uptick in the number of people who are opening and clicking through on our listing alerts, right? People are home, they're cooped up, they want to see content. And on average, just so you guys have a sense, our average click-through rate on open rate on an email that we send out to a consumer in the first quarter of the year, so January and February, was around 55%, right? And that's held pretty steady throughout the, 2019. Relatively speaking, a little over 50% of the people are opening up their listing alerts, which is already a really high number, right? From the beginning of the COVID crisis, we went from 60 last week of March, we were at 67. Beginning of April, we're at 70%. And guys, last week for listing alerts, 80% of the listing alerts we sent out were open.
It's unheard of.
That is insane.
Crazy.
That's just nuts, right? And we're seeing the number of people who open up the listing alerts and then clicking on the listing alerts increase in the same proportions. So out of 10 listing alerts we send out, right, and we're sending out like 1 million listing alerts a day, some crazy number, you are getting over 21% of those people who, of those 100 that we send out, clicking on the listing alert and coming to your home search website, right? So we have seen a surge of not just paid traffic, but we're seeing a surge of organic traffic as well. So this is a really important time for our clients to be paying attention to priority notifications, to everything that's happening in AI, because as these people are searching, we're using all of our technology stack to make sure that we're getting them in front of you.
Hey, G, quick question on the 80%.
Yep.
If you were just to guesstimate ballpark, can you give us like how many people that represents? You know, you're not talking about out of 1,000 people, 800 open.
Yeah.
You're talking about like, what, 100,000?
Oh, more than that. Yeah. Let me put it this way. On a weekly basis right now, for all of our clients, I believe we're at something like 700 to 800,000 people coming back per week. Yeah. So it represents a really large sample size. Yep. Great question. Okay, cool. So we want to highlight those stats. You know, these are eye-popping stats, and it just really shows this is a great time to invest in advertising. You know, on the front end, I know a lot of clients are wary of doing that, but you know, even if you spend less money now, you're still going to get the same or even greater results when you were spending more money before the COVID crisis, right? And even if you weren't, this is still a really important time to be paying attention to all of the YLOBO signals, because even organically, we are seeing amazing numbers that, you know, again, probably increases engagement by about 50 to 60% versus what we were seeing before. So either way, pay attention to everything that's happening with your YLOBO system. So we wanted to very quickly go over all of the recent releases that we talked about in the last webinar. You know, our promise on the YLOBO side is that every 2 or 3 weeks going forward, we are going to release a bunch of stuff that specifically helps you during COVID, right? And we are sticking to that promise. There are another 4 major releases we're going to announce this week that I think is going to make a really big difference for you guys. But let's just recap the things we've worked on, because you know, we're seeing a lot of engagement from clients on them, and if you're not using them, then you're missing out.
Hey, G, Chris from the audience wants to know if the Google pay-per-click leads costs are going down as much as the social media leads. Yeah.
No, it's not. You know, it's going down for sure. It's gone down by about 20%, right? Social leads have gone down by like 45%, right? So it is still lower. You know, I don't really know why there's not as much of a correlation, probably because there are just still a lot of
interesting thing is
social, right? But it has dropped.
The Google pay-per-click leads are about twice as expensive. So that 20% drop on a dollar basis is similar to the 40% drop as the social.
Sure.
So, but good news, right? There, and that's a sizable number per lead, right? On both fronts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a good time to do PPC right now. Don't get me wrong. I mean, to get a 20% drop in PPC is very sizable. Yep. Awesome. So let's recap those recent releases. So the first thing is, if you go to your website and you type in virtual-home-buying, right? We created for you a virtual home buying program page. This is a page that highlights all of the ways that you can do a virtual home buying experience for your clients, right? All of the copy was written by Professor Barry. You know, we have the ability to edit any of these pages. What a lot of our clients have done is on their homepage, they have created a banner at the very top that takes people directly into their virtual home buying program page, right? If you don't know how to do that, email support. We can help you set that up. Or if you visit our wiki, we have articles on exactly how you do that.
Can I chime in too, how amazing that is? We are using that with a video. So if you have folks that you're trying to reach and you want to just put out there that we're helping people walk through what it looks like to look at homes virtually. And we're doing that screen share where you have yourself in it and you go right to the page on your website and then send them the link in the email. It's an amazing response rate.
I love it. Next feature. So we have added, because, obviously people are requesting information less now, scheduling showings less now. We have added the link to schedule a private virtual tour on every website that's out there, right? And we've also added content into the open house section that specifically talks about how open houses may be online. And we're actually going to show you how we extend that in a second, but we've added the private virtual tour option at every single website, and we're seeing really good positive reactions from that as well. I believe, I haven't checked the latest stats, but I believe there are just as many people clicking on the schedule a private tour button as they're putting on the request for information button, which is phenomenal. This was the big release last week. We created a new feature within our Diva Listing Rocket section that allows you to take just put in an MLS number, any MLS number, and we will stitch together a virtual showing video, right? That takes all the photos, all the descriptions of the listing, and then stitch it together into about a 1.5 minute video, right? And that's a video that you can text or email to your clients that gives them a virtual tour, essentially, or a virtual experience of that particular listing, if they request it, right? Now I won't go into go ahead, go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, I was just going to say one thing with regards to this. Raya is teeing up live virtual showings for you guys. That was a big part of that massive copy change that we did. So the text messages aren't necessarily going for live showings just yet. And when we did this, we wanted it to actually be helpful. And so if you send 4 of these videos to one person, they're not going to be annoyed, because the way that the flow is, it actually helps them quickly parse through which homes they like and which ones they don't.
Yeah, exactly. And this feature has been used 1,500 times in the first 2 weeks. Yeah. So, for the clients who are using this feature, they're getting a lot of value out of it. It's totally free. You can just download the video directly from our platform. And I think it's one of the biggest things we've launched in the last month or so. And, I love for you guys to keep using it, breaking it, right? I mean, if we did 10,000 videos a month, I would be very, very happy. But just the fact that we've averaged over 750 a week, that's really tremendous. If you don't know how to use this, by the way, you can look it up in our wiki. We have a step-by-step guide. And if someone wants to see how it works later in the Ask Us Anything, I'm happy to show that as well. Did you have another?
Holly just chimed in that she was super happy that she bought the Astor Room 3D kit because she sold a home this weekend because she shot a 3D home tour.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That's great. Yeah, because that was going to be the next one.
So two questions that related to the same thing. Can you use the virtual showing video for any MLS listings or just your own listings? There was a question also about that for Diva. For Diva, we want to reiterate, like, if you're going to use someone else's listing, you must get permission from them that you're going to use their listing and help them advertise their home. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
But for the virtual showing video, I don't know, Barry, Livia, Laura, what do you think about that?
That was the whole purpose of it. I mean, that was the purpose of it, is to, just like I would email someone data on listing and say, hey, check out these 4, let's go look at them, and none of them are my listing. Well, now, because Raya is saying, would you like some video tours, instead of sending an email, I'm sending a video. And as long as you're not advertising that video, you're okay. It's just, hey, do you like this house to your client?
In a private communication, okay. let's be clear for our audience, if it's going to be, hey, I'm going to put $65 on this Diva listing rocket, get the permission from the other agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually built out 2 versions of every video we did, a branded and unbranded version. And so if you ever feel queasy about, oh, I don't want to, represent that this is my listing, you always use the unbranded version that you're sending out.
And you can remember, if you think about it, if you come across a property that would work for multiple people, do a video of that property unbranded, send it out to those people, but make sure you're specifically referencing their search parameters when you send it to them. Then you're showing them an MLS listing, not claiming it's your own listing.
So I think you guys are nibbling around the corners here, but Chris is, how can we use the virtual buying program webpage to get lead captures?
Yeah, we don't have a lead capture on this screen other than if you press learn more, there's a registration that pops up, so I would say
Well,
that
it's a USP.
Yeah.
It's a unique selling proposition. It's something that's unique to you that helps you set apart. You can turn any page on your branded site into a forced registration. There's it's called a splash page. Don't want to necessarily go sideways on it, but that's something that you can learn how to do and turn any page into that. I would tell you, don't do that. People normally don't hire their agent just because of the USP. They normally hire their agent because their agent has a lot going for them. They like them. They like their experience. And then it's an, oh, by the way, they also have this killer program. And so I wouldn't make it a lead. I would just use your pixel.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's a thread the needle.
Yeah.
We've said in the virtual tours, like send it in private communications. If you're going to run a Diva ad on it, make sure you get the permission. Here's an interesting one, which is like, can we use it on our own Facebook business page?
Oh, absolutely. You can post this and you can use it on your business page. I was just going to say, I don't think this is a good lead capture experience. The goal of this is to communicate that you are doing something that's unique and that makes sense and aligns with your brand, right? As a forward-thinking agent. If you turn this into a lead capture page, you're basically saying, I'm not going to show you this content until you register. What are they registering for, right? They're not registering to see more photos or content or whatever is the case. So I just think you're going to get less people to see your message if you do that, right? So, that's why we put the learn more button with the registration link. There are ways to turn this into a registration page, as Barry said, and I can demonstrate some of that later. But I don't think in this situation that's actually a good idea.
You see, there's 2 other things you can think of too. We're actually winning listing presentations with virtual technology. The more we can talk about it, so it does really serve us on that angle, as well as recruiting. A lot of agents are looking for team leaders and brokers that have, the strong grasp on virtual technology in today's market with what's going on. So it's not just about lead capture, it's about other tools too.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because that's the direction that one of my teams is taking, and it is for recruiting and also they're picking up a ton of listings. And what's really interesting is they're hitting the FSBO market with this. And they're getting FSBOs to list with them like crazy, because for sale by owners it's not about throwing it up onto the internet and getting people to call you now.
It's funny you brought that up before, because I just scraped 480 FSBOs from sites, and it's the same conversation. It's asking them how they're prepared, how well prepared they are in this COVID market. Are they seeing a drop off in foot traffic through their homes? How are they dealing with that? Then we're sharing what we're doing to deal with it, and we can pick listings up that way. So we can't think of YLOPO all the time as just lead generation and lead capture. You got to look at
if you're talking, and then let's move on because we got a lot to cover. But if you're talking to for sale by owners and or expireds, especially for sale by owners, very, very important to show them that what you've got that no one else has. Very, very important to show them that you've got the Diva listing rocket tool. Because remember, if you're a FSBO seller, you're trying to avoid the whole regular thing, right? Hey, just get an agent, it puts it on an MLS. So you've got a tool where you can get their listing out around the entire geographic area that no one else has. and it's super cost effective, and you're going to spend the money to do it, and the FSBO person will love it. So anyway, I'll cut it there because we're going to keep going. I know you guys are watching our Q&A, panelists watch our Q&A and help answer questions. And the ones that we'll touch on later, we'll touch on later during the second hour. All right, G, back to you, man. Oh, can't hear you, dude.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Last thing. So we kind of introduced Aster Room in the last kind of session as well. You for any Ylopo user, you have a 60-day trial of Aster Room once you buy their kits, which is very cheap. The reason that we made such a big deal about Aster Room is that, and by the way, they have received more kits to sell, right? So they were sold out due to popular demand for a while. They are now back in action. With Aster Room, instead of having to buy a expensive Matterport camera that can run you thousands of dollars, or buy even an expensive 3D camera which can run you $400 or $500, with Aster Room's technology, it is something that actually clips onto your cell phone and turns your cell phone into a 3D tour capturing technology, right? So their kit is like whatever, $80-$90. And then you're able to put it on a tripod and then scan rooms very, very quickly, right? So if you are interested in doing 3D tours, just to check out Aster Room. You use the code. It's they misspelled our name. It is YOLOPO.
But they changed it too. You can go to you can just put it.
Oh, Ylopo. Okay,
yeah.
All right, good. Its code is just Ylopo, and you can get that 60-day free trial. All right.
We don't really care what you use. Use Matterport, use any other 3D camera. Like, we don't care what you use. It's just that with Aster Room, you didn't actually have to buy a 3D camera. But a lot of you guys have a 3D camera, so then you don't need Aster Room.
100%. Yeah, there's a lot of great tools that are coming out for that. Brownie Box has come out with a tool that basically doesn't even need an add-on. You can just use your phone to shoot a 3D.
Brownie.
Box Brownie. Yeah, Box Brownie. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So, new stuff that we are releasing. This is the cool part.
Ooh, new stuff. We love new stuff. Presents.
I love new. I love new.
Oh, look at the little present icon.
That is Howard's touch right there. So if you go to your website and you go to virtual-home-sellers, right? So instead of buyers, it's sellers. We have created a virtual home seller program page for you that complements the virtual buyer home page, right? And so this is identical in structure, but of course, totally different aspects of the seller experience. Barry, since you created this, do you want to kind of talk really quickly about the highlights of what the virtual home seller program encompasses?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, let's see, hold on a second, make sure I'm not on mute. Okay, so first of all, this is less about the mechanics of a virtual seller, and it's more about showing your seller that you have a plan. And we'll get into that a little bit later. And, with this, when you're talking to a potential buyer or seller, one of the reasons why you ask questions is so that they can tell you what their story is, what they think, what their perceptions are, where their inconsistencies or misinformation is. And then you're able to backfill their mistakes with, I have a program. A case in point, we had a seller that said, I'm worried about the market, I'm worried about showings. And we said, oh, well, we have a virtual seller program. We can actually do this without you having to break any social distancing. And they loved it. And now we've put it into a page so that in your drip campaigns, in any objection handling that you have, you can actually say to the person, hey, go to this page. And again, like, it's less about each item, and that each item is compelling. But it's the fact that you've got a plan, you've put it together, and most of all, you're relevant to the consumer. So should be a huge win for all of you.
Awesome. And I'm just showing this live to everyone so they can see it. Okay, well, Barry, you also had some, did you already cover everything here? Did you cover the ideas for using virtual seller program?
No, but I did touch on the idea behind it. And so, different ways that you could use this. You could do a call to action Diva ad, right? So we have the Diva video for home buying. And now you can do it that you have a program. People love programs. I don't know why. It makes them feel safe. This is a unique selling proposition. So if two agents have the same experience, same commission, same personalities, but one has a unique offer that the other doesn't, 9 times out of 10, the agent that has the unique offer is going to win the day. And so having that USP is a big deal. We don't sell the USP. So don't like expect you to walk in a room and say, I have a virtual seller program, and everybody falls down on the ground because they think you're amazing. It's something that basically you do your job, and then you say, this is also something, just so you know, we can keep social distancing and sell your home. And then I like this. This was actually an idea from Jesse at Call Action. Sell a house safely, buy a house safely during COVID-19. Text buy safe for the buyers, text sell safe for the sellers for a copy of our free program. I just love that sign. Just stick it somewhere and get some free leads.
Awesome. Love it. All right, cool. I'm going to keep moving. If you guys have questions about this, we can cover it over the Ask Us Anything. So if you have questions on that, just bring it up. We can show you some more details around it.
Look, I think, guys, the big selling proposition is, yes, it does cater to those sellers, Barry, who don't want people in their home and they want to sell safely. But also, guys, for those sellers that don't care as much, it also expands their market to buyers who want to buy safely. So when you are pitching yourself as a person who has the technology to deal with sellers virtually and buyers virtually, right? You're telling this potential listing, you don't want to limit the market. You don't want to limit the number of people that are going to see your home. So for X percentage of people that will see your home, great. And for those people that don't want to do it, we've got the tech for them. So with us, you will get your home in front of the greatest number of people. And by the way, look at Diva, Listing Rocket. You're going to get your home in front of the greatest number of people. We're not going to just put it on the MLS and wait for the phone to ring. Boom.
Well, and Howard, I couldn't agree more. And in the beginning, you asked me, how's the market? And I made a comment about how we just decided to go digital really fast, like immediately. And there were like 3 or 4 questions about that we can talk about in the Ask Us Anything. But this in principle represents the whole concept. We just decided we weren't going to wait for things to go back to normal. And, you hear me say that all the time. We just decided we would be relevant today and worry about tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just so you guys can see an example of how people are using that virtual guide. So they're adding a banner at the very top of the site. Click here to learn more, about a virtual buying program. And if you want to marry the two, you could do a banner that says, click here to learn about a virtual buying program or virtual selling program. Very easy, right? So, you can look in our wiki on how to do that. If you're running into problems on how to do that, paying support, they can help you. But that is a great way to use this on your branded site to feature all of those programs as well. Okay, fantastic. The next big gift that we are giving you guys, and this is like the virtual tour showing tour last week, which was our big undertaking 2 weeks ago, which was our big undertaking for that release. We have another release that frankly took even more effort. So this goes out to especially Chris Soto, our CTO, and our data team. They worked really night and day to get all of this done for you guys. What we have done is we have gone back to every MLS in the country. That's like 200 plus MLSs. And we have identified all of the fields that relates to virtual tour in all of those countries, at all of those MLSs. And the result is that when you go into your home search website, if you click on your advanced search parameters and scroll down to the amenities section, you are going to see front and center a button that says virtual tour, right? Now this button also exists in the all amenities section, virtual tour, same option, right? But if you click on the virtual tour option for whatever location you're looking for, right? Whatever location, you are going to be able to see every home that has a virtual tour on it, okay? So one of our clients, I think it was Eric Kamel, asked, hey, it would be nice if you had a link of all the virtual tours in the area so you can post it onto Facebook, post it onto groups, you can even potentially run some ads with it.
Yeah,
well, guess what? You have that ability. What?
Definitely run some ads on it.
Yeah, if there were enough requests, we actually can run an advertisement that only shows properties that have virtual tours, right? So if enough of you are interested in that, that is something that we can do on the marketing side. So email us at marketingwhileopen.com if you are interested in that. And if we see there's like 20, 30, 40 people that want that, then we will go ahead and actually create a custom ad for every client that has that option, so you can turn it on, or we can turn it on for you, right? But bottom line is, every single client at this point, every single MLS should have the ability to search for virtual tours in their neighborhood, right? Or in their city, rather, whatever location you put in the MLS. If you don't see this on your home search website, email us at support@whileopen.com. Maybe we missed your MLS somehow, or there's some other issues there, but please let us know. Or there might be no virtual tours, which I doubt, but it's possible. So look on this option, use it, send this out to your clients. This is a great, I think, email campaign that you can send out to all of your leads. Hey, check out all of these properties that have virtual tours, right? So that is available for every client already across the board.
Okay, so
Now,
G, like with all the new tools that come out, like right in the first week, there are going to be some bugs, and there'll be some bugs in some certain markets, right? MLS, IDX issues, whatever. So if someone thinks that it's not working correctly for them, what should they do?
Yeah. If it's not working properly, just email support@whileopen.com. I mean, as with anything, there are bugs, as Howard said. We will review those emails to see if it's a data request issue, or if it's something like your MLS doesn't have a virtual tours option in the MLS somehow. We'll let you know that, right? But we did go through every MLS. We did double check. We finished as much as we could, which I would guess is 95, 98% of the country. Most MLS boards did have this data. And so if you don't see that option, email us. If you look in your MLS and there's a virtual tour button, and when you click on that, it shows a much larger number than what is, you're seeing on our website, let us know that too. Maybe we didn't configure the right field. There's a million possibilities. When it comes to the MLS, it could be one of 100,000 issues, right? But for the vast majority of clients, we've double checked this is working. You are able to send out all these virtual tours.
So G, the question is this just something that our agents, our clients can do the search on and send out, or is it something that consumers can do the search on?
It's both. So on the consumer side, all they have to do is come down here and generate and click on virtual tour. And in this search right here, this URL that you've put on here has all the listings that virtual tours, right?
So go ahead.
So if you were to want to send this out to your clients, my recommendation is just to go to your home search website, click on that link, and generate the URL that you're seeing right here, and then post that on Facebook, right? Why? Because if you did that, then someone who's coming to the site, they view one or two listings, right? They view a couple of listings, and a registration pop-up is going to come right up, asking them to fill in the rest of their information, right? So you're going to be able to use this to capture leads as well as provide a great service to your clients. So that's why I recommend you doing it on the consumer side. But this is also a feature that is available on White Lotus Stars. So if you wanted to send a push listing with only virtual tours, you can do that as well, right? So
that was the question that was asked. Can you do it as a push listing?
Absolutely. So I'm in the push listing screen, right? So let me jump back. I'm in the push listing screen on Stars. I press push listing. I set up a new search, and whatever's the case at the very bottom, virtual tours right here, right? So then I can see the listings, choose only properties that have virtual tours, and send it out, right?
Well, Melanie asked, is it a true virtual tour, or do you include slideshows? My response is it's not what we include. It's what's listed. It's what's listed on the MLS as a virtual tour. We all know that sometimes we go to homes and it says virtual tour and it's just a slideshow, right? We can't really control that. Remember, guys, we're pulling this. We built the technology to automatically pull this from your MLS.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I would say that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Barry.
I would just say that with regards to that question, that's something that because we know what's available and what agents should be doing versus what they aren't doing, we know better best. The consumer normally doesn't. The consumer does not know that they should be doing X versus Z, X versus Y versus Z. And so for us, what we do is if we send it and they're like, okay, that was great and all, but some of them were just pictures. I'd really like a video. Okay, no problem. Let me contact the seller's agent and talk about it. But that is like a great problem, because now you're solving problems for that consumer. It's an opportunity to develop a relationship. And it all started by you being able to offer something that other agents don't, which is a quick and easy way to see all the homes in your market that have virtual tours.
So guys, again, some of you are going to have some frustrations. There's going to be some bugs, and we're going to have to deal with your MLSs. Don't panic. Okay, we get to all of it. We fix it. Remember, support@ylopo.com. Also, don't be shy. You can actually write a question in the Ylopo Success community, right? We will see those as well. We'll either publish it in the Success community or we'll answer you privately. But for the most part, support@ylopo.com. If you're not getting an answer, we need to know about that. Post in the Ylopo Success community as well. Don't panic, right? We release stuff, some stuff, like we're doing this in every MLS across the country. This is some hard roll up your sleeve stuff. We always do, guys. We get the bugs out. Take a breath, relax. We're going to get the bugs out of your particular MLS, okay? We do have a little bit of frustration out there. There's some people saying, well, hey, like not all my agents can go in to, mission control and, run certain ads or do certain things. But look, mission control is something that's pretty locked down for the people that are paying the bills, for the licensees, and you can give access to an admin. But yes, for right now, and we're working on something like that down the line in the future for different permission levels, guys. We'll sneak that. But right now, it's pretty locked down for the licensee and for their admins.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so let me keep going here because there's still more stuff to go through. So when you click on one of these listings, right, we want to make the video tour even more obvious. So on the top left corner of the first photo, you are now going to see a video walkthrough button, right? Mm-hmm. And if I click on that button, it's going to open up the virtual tour in a separate tab. That way it's, easy for people to navigate. I guess they used a Zillow tour in this situation. Looks decent. Not as sharp as, you would think, but it's still pretty nice. So you guys get the point. It's showing up on the top left corner. The reason we did that, by the way, is on mobile, it looks very good, very clean, right? So this is what the mobile experience looks like. And also we added the virtual tour and click a virtual tour button at the very top of the additional home tour features. So there's really no way that the client can miss video walkthrough tour as well as virtual tour on each of your pages. We make that very obvious for all of you guys, right? So like I said, again, this feature is 100% available. You can either send out listings that have virtual walkthroughs, in which case they're going to see that on the page, or you can even send out a search. If you're sending out a search, I would recommend doing it as a consumer would, primarily because when you get this link at the very top, it means it's a link that is going to have a lead capture squeeze as part of it. So when you send it out, you're going to be able to capture more leads that way. Any other thoughts on the virtual tour search before I continue?
Well, are we going to the next slide? Because that is more thoughts on the virtual tour search.
Yes, sorry. Let's go to the next slide.
So couple of things here. We've already talked about ads, right? View all Virginia Beach homes. This to me is also another way that you get to brand yourself to sellers. We've pivoted to a virtual model, and we are one of the only teams, brokerages, whatever, that have this tool. Now, what do I mean by that? This was really, really hard to do. Getting this data and mapping it in a way that your IDX website can do is not easy. I realize Zillow has virtual tour options in Redfin, but if you look at individual IDX websites across the country, AKA other agents, it is really, really hard to be able to get virtual tours to flow in there. So we think this is something that's going to set you apart for a long time. and it's going to keep the consumer coming back to your website. You demonstrate yourself as somebody that stands out because you're leveraging tech that stands out. And so one thing that we've got to make sure we mention is when you do this search on your search site, as a consumer, to generate a link to the search results, make sure you're doing it and you're not logged in. Because when I go to my search site, I'm in the name of some weird lead. And then, that's going to mess everything up. So make sure you're not logged in. So I always do it in like private browsing mode. I don't want to get, in the weeds there, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But again, I just want to hit on the fact that in marketing, it's all about being different. All about being different. It's all about setting yourself apart. This virtual tour thing, this is bigger than just inside baseball intramurals where agents are just geeking out over something new. This is something the consumer wants. It was very hard to do. We did it. Now make a big deal of it to your sphere and the people in your market, because none of the other agents are going to be able to do this.
And I know that Mike Bernier and Long Doan from RG are getting all of these virtual buyer and virtual seller and virtual agent tools out there for their recruiting, because they know that this is the time right now where all of the agents that they want to recruit to RG who don't have these tools and are dying for these tools can join RG and get these tools. So this is a great time to be, never been a better time to be fearless as Mike Bernier.
I think even a step further, Howard, it's not just that they want the tools. A lot of agents don't understand the tools. They just want to know how to use it. And quite honestly, a lot of people don't really care how the sausage is made. They just want somebody to do it for them. So it's an excellent opportunity to recruit to your teams and your brokerages. If you have this stuff in place, that's super plug and play for them to use.
Right. So you guys become the experts. Like, wow, I don't get that kind of education and support from the person I'm with. I'm gonna go here. Great point. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I've seen quite a few people who have asked for a Brand Diva branding video for your virtual home seller program. We will do that. We'll make that a release for us in August, right? So don't worry, we are absolutely on top of that. Awesome. Okay, so next big release, guys. Raya now is bilingual. So when someone responds,
who speaks Spanish here on this panel? Anybody? Muy importante. What do you say announcement? Harry, how do you say announcement? No one knows. Anuncio? I don't know. Anyway.
So this is a hotly requested feature from especially our clients in southern states. In California, I've heard clients say that 40% or more of their leads are Spanish speakers. We've been getting requests for this as soon as we released Automated ISA and Raya like a year ago. You finally have it. So Raya will engage with people who respond in Spanish. Raya will start engaging those people in Spanish as well, right? So it's not going to happen right away, meaning that if someone, we're texting that person, they're speaking English, and then all of a sudden they switch to Spanish, that's when it kicks in, right? So this is something that is very much in beta, guys. There's bugs to be worked out. As you can imagine, this was not an easy piece of technology. And so there will be issues. There might be scripting issues. There might be the system not recognizing it's Spanish, or it's recognizing something else, like a name is Spanish. There's possibilities where this might not work out, right? This is, again, why we always position Raya as your assistant. That way, if there is something that's screwed up, you will be able to take over that conversation, apologize on behalf of your assistant, and move the conversation along, right? We haven't seen too many issues with this, to be honest. I thought there would be more. We've released this out in the wild for about a week now. If you see conversations that are not on point in Spanish, please email that either to support@welopa.com or product@welopa.com. That will be viewed by my product team so we can continue enhancing this particular feature, right?
Jay, quick question for you. Is the intention long-term to eventually start creating ads in Spanish after we're through the beta on all this? Is that eventually the intention to start being able to create Spanish ads?
That is something that we have, special language ads. That's something that we have tested out for clients. you know, if a client wanted us to try that, we absolutely can. So you would just email marketingwhileover.com and we can help you try some of these things out. The challenge is that Facebook has restricted a lot of the demographic targeting, especially around ethnicity, right? Which is a big HUD violation, right? And so to the degree that you can target only Spanish speakers, that has become less so on social, right? So I haven't seen it to be as effective. That being said, what I have seen to be effective is targeting even more niche ethnicities who are speaking different languages, because on Facebook, you're able to target people who are only using the XYZ version of Facebook, right? So we have an ad running for our client, you know, in Jersey, only targeting Korean speakers in Korean, right? You know, so that type of advertising has been, I think, more effective. Spanish is not one that we've seen to work as well.
Hey, G, I'm going to ask a few questions that kind of the same thing. Can you tell Raya somewhere they are Spanish speaking? Please, please, please let us also tag a Spanish speaker so Raya will know to go straight to Spanish. Can we type something in to make Raya switch to Spanish in the Bay Area with lots of leads coming in Spanish? So they're all kind of the same gist of a question.
You know what? That was the first feature request we got as soon as we released this. We're going to look into it. That is not quite as easy as, you know, as this release. But we will look into it very hard because we've gotten that feedback. So not right now.
AI comienzo.
But the point is that when the text comes back in Spanish, then Raya then automatically switches to Spanish, right?
Yep, exactly.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're seeing, you know, a lot of these conversations happening every single day, right? So I know that is a hotly requested addition to this. We've got to work through the beta issues right now relating to this implementation, and then we will, you know, work on that next, right?
Here's an interesting question. We had prospects talking to Raya in Spanish, and then they convert to talk to us, but we don't have any Spanish speakers on our team. So you know, post that in the YSC. I'm sure we have so many, you know, Spanish speaking clients. I'm sure someone will take a little referral split if they talk to your prospects in Spanish.
Yeah. And, you know, these are some of the questions we've gotten frequently on the beta, right? Which I'll address. You know, the first is, of course, people want to be able to kick off the bilingual, you know, Raya, you know, themselves. You can't do that yet. It is something that we are going to work on in the future. The second is a lot of clients have said, oh, hey, what if I don't speak Spanish? What, right?
Well, someone just asked, are we able to turn this feature off if we don't have any Spanish speaking agents?
Yeah. So the answer is no. And here's why. Because right now, if someone speaks Spanish to you, right, in Raya, we actually just respond, we don't speak Spanish, and we mark that lead as not interested, right? So we will never text that lead again because they speak a language that is different from English, right? With this feature turned on, we will have a conversation with them in Spanish, and we are going to keep messaging that person, right? So it would be a huge mistake to turn off that feature because you are essentially marking all of these leads as dead leads, right? That's the reason that we've turned on this feature for all clients, because previous to this, if you were speaking in Spanish, we would just turn you off, right? So we have not built an off switch onto this for that reason. We don't see a scenario where this is a negative for you, because in the past, if this happened, we would just shut off Raya, and that Raya would never communicate to that lead again, right?
Well, also next week, Barry's launching Spanish immersion classes, right? Barry? No? Okay. All right. Let's
Google
go.
Translate.
Keep going.
Google Translate. No big deal.
Google Translate.
Yeah. So anyways, message us if any of these conversations are off, product@whitelover.com, message us there. We will take a look at it. You know, if there are a lot of clients who tell us, hey, we need to be able to turn this feature off, then we'll build an off switch, but it is not there right now. So give us feedback, email us, product@whitelover.com. We will keep on top of what's happening with bilingual Raya. But this is a really big release, as you can imagine, very technically difficult. So we hope our clients, for the most part, are very happy with this feature.
Alina's happy. She goes, this feature is great. Raya sent a Spanish message to a lead that said that they didn't speak English. So let's leave it there.
Right there.
Howard, it's your cue.
The last, it's actually not the last gift, but the last big product release.
Wait. Hold on, G.
What?
Hold on.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. Another comfy T-shirt.
There you go.
Thanks
I
for
have one too, but it's a large, so it doesn't fit.
All right,
If anyone wants a large Sierra T-shirt, I will send it to you.
Big reveal.
So we have released our 4th end-to-end integration, API-based integration, so deep two-way integration with our CRM partner, Sierra Interactive, right? Sierra is a CRM that we already have a good number, 30 or some clients who are on that integration today. Everyone who is on our Sierra integration is now on our two-way API integration, right? So this is really big news, guys. This is the 4th CRM we've integrated with. So we've integrated with Follow Boss, LionDesk, FirePoint. Now our 4th one is Sierra Interactive, right? There are a lot of bells and whistles of this integration. So if you're already a Sierra client or you're considering Sierra, this is going to dramatically improve your experience on both platforms. Everything from all the new activities of properties viewed, showing requests, favorites, all going directly into the system so that you can see all of those issues or all of those notifications. Agent subdomains also work on Sierra now, which means you get the Open House app and all of our features related to agent subdomains. Auto imports now all work throughout there. We have support for all of the tags like no texting or bad number. And you can use stages and agent assignment to automatically turn off Raya, right? So basically at this point, our Sierra interactive integration is at par with what we would do on Follow Boss, LionDesk, and FirePoint. So very, very big news there. We will do another webinar with Sierra to deep dive into their CRM at a future date, probably sometime in the next 30 to 60 days, once we get a couple more things fine-tuned, right? So that is our big next integration. If you have questions about that, ask me in the Ask Me Anything, and I can answer those further. Our next integration hit list. So you guys are aware of which ones we're working with. We have Chime that we are working on today. We're working on Real Geeks after that. Wise Agent is our 3rd CRM we're working on. And our goal is basically to now knock these out a month at a time, right? So 30 days-ish, we're going to integrate each of those. KW Command has reached out to us and said end of Q2, they're going to have their API done. So we will integrate with Command as soon as that's available. Commissions Inc. has also told us that they are giving us access to their API somewhere toward the end of Q2 as well. So we're going to integrate with that even in a more tighter way. We do integrate with Sync right now, but it is not as tight as it can be with the two-way integration. So those are all our next integration hit list. From there, we're open, right? So we prioritize the CRMs our clients tell us they want to use the most. So keep telling us to support.ylopo.com which CRMs you're interested in, post in YSC so that I can see those and I can help prioritize what our hit list looks like.
So somebody just asked, will KV Core be added? So guys, we are CRM agnostic. We are neutral. Very often we're waiting for other folks, okay? I'm on the phone. I literally reached out to the CEO of KV Core and said, hey, we would love to integrate. We want to have an elegant two-way API, right? Because you guys were asking us for that. But I can't make another CRM integrate with us. So if you're with another CRM and you want them to integrate with YLOPO, you put the pressure on them because you're their client. I'm not their client, right? We are Switzerland, right? And we'll be honest, we'll tell you which are our best, our highest level two-way API integrations. Not all integrations are created equally, okay? We love our Follow Boss integration. We love our FirePoint integration. We love our LionDesk integration. We now love our Sierra integration. Those integrations, right, those 4 are going to be where you get the most out of YLOPO. That's just the truth, okay? We've got other solid partners, right? But we just have to be truthful, right? Sometimes we're like trying to twist their arms and say, come on, guys, open up that API, right? We're not building a CRM here. We want to work with everybody. We do not have any financial arrangements with any CRMs, okay? And we want to keep it that way, right? We just want the best experience for you guys. So you want KV Core added? You call KV Core because I've already called him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, we want to, we're obviously having a great integration with Sierra. We're going to announce more stuff around Sierra in the future, but we don't want you to forget our other CRM partners, right? Follow Boss, FirePoint, and LionDesk. The good news is for each of our clients who are considering those CRMs, they are now offering special pricing for YLOBO clients, right? You may already know about this or you may not know about this. That's why we're making you aware of it, right? For Follow Up Boss, they have changed their pricing considerably. I recommend you go looking at their pricing again, because if you're on a legacy platform, you should be looking at their new pricing. They have changed their pricing so that their pro plan, which is up to 10 users with their dialer, with all of their technology baked in, right? They are charging retail $500 for that, $499, which means on a per user basis, if you had 10 users, it would be about $50 per, right? For YLOBO users, they are discounting that further by $100, 20% to $399, right? So if you have 10 users, to get a dialer built in, doing all that kind of stuff for $40, that is a really attractive price.
Yeah, Terry just chimed in. She said, Follow Up Boss YLOBO discount is amazing. Used to be $100 per user.
That's right.
And look, we were very humbled and grateful that Dan Corkill, the founder, right, and CEO of Follow Up Boss, it was really exciting, right? I don't know, it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago or something when he texted us. And he's like, check this out, guys. And we're just so humbled by that he so much values the YLOBO clients that they're giving this amazing, amazing discount, to YLOBO users. So it's really, really awesome stuff from Follow Up Boss.
Yeah, and for the people who have 30 users or more, they have a platform, a plan, which is $1,000 a month, which means that the average cost per user at 30 users is like $30 or so, right? $33. They're discounting that to $80 or $800, right? So afterwards, any additional users is $20. The key here is it includes the dialer, right? If you get a Mojo dialer, that's $125 per month per person, right? So the fact that Follow Boss throws that in there with all this pricing makes it really attractive. FirePoint also is offering special pricing for YLOBO users, which I think is also attractive in different ways. The first is that they have extended special pricing for users who are at 1 or 2 seats, and you can get FirePoint and all of their features, except for mass texting, for $99, right? That means if you have 2 people, you are paying $50 per seat, right? For most other CRMs, when you are at their lowest tier, say you're at 1 user or 2 user seats, they charge you a premium on price, right? FirePoint is not going to do that. So for 1 or 2 users, you are only paying $99, which includes their dialer. After that, beyond 2 users, every additional user is only $50, right? So that means if you have 3 users, it's $149. 4 users, it's $199, so on and so forth. What that means is for Follow Boss, for instance, or other CRMs, you have to do up to a certain number, right? With FirePoint, they are making it so every single seat is just $50. It gives you more customization and flexibility, right? So for those of you who are considering FirePoint, remember this new special pricing, talk to them about it. And I think that it is a huge value add to our clients who are on FirePoint or considering FirePoint.
And a big shout out to Gabe Cordova at FirePoint, who really rolled up his sleeves, really went to bat, I think, to get the powers that be, right, at FirePoint to really do some special stuff, some special integration work. We have a really, really great integration with FirePoint. They've been excellent partners. So hats off to him. Livia, I think you're still working with FirePoint. Is that right?
I am. I love FirePoint.
Loves your FirePoint.
Yeah, it's a great two-way integration. It's very, very easy to use and very agent friendly.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Barry's right. Yeah, switching CRM sucks for about 30 days. I always say switching CRM sucks for like 30 to 60 days, then it's fine. Yeah, there's a pain point. I will tell you, I'm going to give you very strong advice. Been doing this a long time. Don't run 2 CRMs side by side, guys. Just don't do it. Because they're only going to like and use and tell you they like what they're used to. So if you're going to make the switch, you got to rip the Band-Aid off, right? And if you want to eat, you got to use the new CRM, and you're going to get complaints for about 30, 60 days. Once you're 60 days in, they're going to tell you how much they love the new CRM and that they never complained about it before. So we've just seen this. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And Mike asked a good question. All of these fees you're seeing here, this is the Follow Boss. I mean, this is the CRM systems, right? Like, our fees are our fees. We don't charge you more if you have more seats on here, so all
we don't charge by seats, guys. I've seen that question. We do not charge by seats, and what the CRMs do is what the CRMs do. We just basically make sure everyone understands, if you're currently with Follow Boss, make sure you're on the special YLOPO pricing. If you're with FirePoint, make sure you're on the special YLOPO pricing.
Yeah. And Mitch asked the question. I thought it was a good one. Do you guys help move the data when switching from to a new CRM? We do, up to a point, right? There are some things that we can't do for you. As an example, we can't help you move a lead that was assigned to Steve to another CRM and make sure it's assigned to Steve, right? So you're going to have to export the data from, say, one CRM. You're going to have to upload it into another CRM. And then we, integrate all of your search activity from one CRM to another, right? So it is relatively seamless. I would say moving from one platform to another platform is significantly harder than doing so with YLOPO. I mean, 3 to 4 times harder. If anyone has done it, it's like pulling teeth. You won't feel like that with YLOPO, but there's still some work that you have to do, right? You have to import all the notes and all the kind of stuff, but we do this every day, guys. I mean, we have probably 10 people switching one CRM to another CRM, and we do that all the time, right? So we can help you walk through that process.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, look, I've switched 4 times in 3 years, just come on office hours on Wednesdays. If you're thinking about it, you're not going to disrupt your business. Like, it's not, the sky will not fall. If you want to switch your CRM, there is a systematic way to do it. If you have a lot of agents and you're afraid of what they think, I know that feeling, and I know how to make them happy while you're switching. So just come on office hours. I run, and for those asking, I'm running 3 teams, so I use a lot of CRMs.
Yep, absolutely.
What's the next one? Isn't there one more? Oh yeah, there it is.
So last one, guys. So LionDesk, which is our third platform or second platform that we ever integrated with. We still have hundreds of clients on LionDesk. It's another CRM that we love dearly. They have offered the discount. If you use the code YLOPO15, you will get 15% off on all of the LionDesk plans, right? So I believe they have 3 different plans, and each of them you can get 15% off when you use YLOPO15.
And what's great about this is, well, when a company gets to a point like YLOPO does, to where their user base, they're sticking around, the product is phenomenal, what ends up happening is they start to get street cred. And what we're watching is the vendors that you guys are preferring and partnering with YLOPO are listening, and they're watching YLOPO users are crushing it, and they want to stay your CRM. So they're offering special pricing because of the product and the user base of YLOPO. And so it really speaks to where we're headed. And if they think we're awesome now, man, 12 months from now, it's going to be insane.
Michelle Berman points out that in San Diego, LionDesk is free for CRMLS users and provided by our local board. LionDesk has done a lot of MLS deals, guys. So always check with your MLS, because that's not bad if it's already offered free, right? There might be some add-on charges, like, LionDesk has got a lot of built-in video stuff. I was speaking with Dave Anderson yesterday, their founder and CEO. Great guy, and they've done a lot of work on the video front. So, again, we're Switzerland. All 4 of these CRMs are awesome YLOPO partners. We know and work with their C-level team, and they've all 4 really been amazing to work with. We love all of those companies.
Awesome. Okay, cool, guys. I know we're already running on overtime here, so I will just preview our next 3 product releases. They are all huge releases that we've worked on for now about a year or so. So anytime we do that, it means that it was really hardcore from an engineering perspective. But the next one up is HomeBot, right? HomeBot is, I think, probably the most anticipated release we've had since Automated ISA. We are wrapping up the finishing touches on our HomeBot integration, and it will be available to everyone in early May. We are going to do a big webinar announcing it. So please watch out for that. That is a webinar you guys will not want to miss. The reason is because there's going to be 1,500 clients who are going to want HomeBot for all of their leads, and there are only so many lead imports, lead extractions, setting up of a HomeBot that we can do on a daily basis, right? So for anyone who's attending that webinar, we are going to prioritize you guys first because you're going to hear about it first. And it might take us a month or 2 months to get every client set up on HomeBot. It's just the way it is, right? You guys got to get all of your sellers organized, send it to us. We've got to then ingest it into our system via CSV or via Excel. It's a lot of work. We had to beef up our team just in anticipation of this increasing. But I'm still hearing from my team, it might be a month or 2 for us to get all 1,500 of our clients live on HomeBot, right? So if you are on that webinar, you're going to get a head start. We're going to help you create a queue so that anyone who's coming in first is going to be the ones that are going to get all of this done first. And so, that will be an early May, either first week or second week of May launch and webinar that we're going to be sending out. The reason HomeBot is so important, if you guys don't know what HomeBot is, it is the best seller nurture platform that is out there. It is what is called a mint.com for your home. What it does is it shows you a digest of the property. It has one of the best AVMs, estimated home values, in the industry, using a model that appraisers typically use to get an estimate of your home. It has all of the mortgage data for your property, which means that you can get what is your actual net worth of the property, how much money you can take out and invest in a new home, a lot of rich data, making it, I think everyone's opinion who's used it, the most cutting edge seller nurture platform. What that means is it is going to dramatically increase your seller engagement, right? For the clients who have been on the beta for HomeBot, they have not only told us that they love it, but they're getting deals out of it. They're getting a lot of people engaging with it, messaging them, contacting them, all that good stuff. And it is going to be a platform that we use to generate more seller leads for you, right? So stay tuned. We're going to announce all of those things in our webinar on HomeBot.
Hey, G, let's go back to that. So Randy Charlton says he's using HomeBot now and his clients love it. Great open and engagement rates. So somebody who's using it now, right, like on their own and using Ylopo on their own, like how is the world different once it fully sort of comes together?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've heard it from a lot of clients who are already using HomeBot. My strong recommendation is you keep the two separate, right? And the reason is for that is because for the leads who are already on your HomeBot, they have been used to getting an email digest from HomeBot, right? So when they get something completely looking different, they're going to say, what the heck did you send me, right? And so you might actually lower your engagement on the people who are already on HomeBot. For your future leads, or for the leads that you want to get new on the digest, then absolutely we can get those into our system. We can set it up so that we automatically get all of that set up for you, and they're on our Ylopo HomeBot experience, right? The other thing is, look guys, Ylopo is licensing HomeBot ourselves and using some of those features, integrating our platform for you. You are not getting HomeBot, the entire retail product to HomeBot for free. You're just not, right? There are features of HomeBot, like their buyer marketing program, like the ability to log into HomeBot and seeing all the activities and all that kind of stuff that you're not going to get when you have the Ylopo version of HomeBot. Why? Because that product costs a lot of money for you to license the entire suite. We are licensing the portions that make sense for our clients. We're doing it for free for you guys. That doesn't mean you're going to get all of the features of HomeBot, or else, you know, who would license HomeBot, right? So my strong recommendation is to keep those two things separate. And in fact, out of the gate, we're not going to have a way to migrate your leads from HomeBot into our Weblopo system. We just can't do it. You know, there's a lot of technical reasons why we can't do it, and so that is not going to be a feature out of the gate. Just know that we're talking about like 3% of our clients already have HomeBot, right? So the vast majority of you, it's not going to be an issue. But my strong recommendation is to keep your HomeBot account separate, active, all that kind of stuff, and treat our system as a net new feature going forward.
So, G, for the 97% of our clients that don't yet have HomeBot, when we release the HomeBot integration, how much additional is that going to cost our clients?
It is 100% free for all levels on our clients. Zero. Yeah. And
Wow.
Look up the retail price of HomeBot and see how much that costs.
Okay. So everybody is going to get better seller lead nurture, better seller lead generation. Their lender partners, right? Their lender partners are going to love it, right? And we're not charging anything for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So my understanding as a team is about $250, and a couple of people are asking with regards to the difference between, you know, the alerts that Ylopo is going to send versus the alert that HomeBot's going to send. My opinion, obviously I'm biased, but the alert that Ylopo is going to send is going to have a live number of buyers in it, combined with HomeBot's amazing technology. So yeah, it's going to be a really big deal. And to my knowledge, HomeBot is never integrated with a CRM. And so you have to go back to HomeBot over and over and over again to see who's doing what. And the cool thing is you can live in your CRM and see who's engaging stuff within your CRM. So anyway.
And it's going to be very
important
to
Laura,
have a lender partner. It's going to be very important to have a lender partner,
Mike,
on this program. But guys, 2 weeks from now, right, G? Is that our plan? 2 weeks from now?
Yeah. First week of May or the second week of May, as soon as we get the rest of the work done. And, you know, we will answer all of your HomeBot questions on that webinar. It's going to be like a 2-hour webinar just for HomeBot. Great. Okay, fantastic. So the next release after that will be PPC 2.0. We're aiming to publicly launch that in the June timeframe. If anyone wants to do PPC, I've told everyone already, you are able to do that today on our platform. We are in open beta, which means anyone who wants to do it can do it. With over 100 clients on PPC already. The only limit to PPC is that you need a bigger budget than social because the leads are 2x more expensive, right? So anyone who has an over $600 budget now, meaning you're a level 1 license or above, you can do PPC all you want, right? For anyone who is a starter, you need to get to a level 1 in order to do PPC, because we just can't do PPC for $300 a month, right? That's just not possible. So that's the only limitation. Other than that, everyone can do it.
Mike, hold on one second.
Mike, do you have a comment?
Yeah, Mike, hold on one second. So guys, it's not a this or that like choice, okay? Unless you are in a like 100% second home, you know, vacation home market, it's going to be really strong reasons to make sure that you are on Ylopo pay-per-click. But for most of the markets, guys, you want both. You want to, what I call, strangle your market. Write it down, guys. Strangle your market. You want to be all over social media, and that's the most cost-effective way to strangle your market. And you're going to want pay-per-click because you're going to want that search intent, those search intent folks, okay? Not all leads are created equal. They're at different parts of the stream. But remember, guys, if you haven't seen it, go to Ylopo.com, go to the Media Center, watch the webinar on building your database, okay? To build your database to 25,000 leads or 50,000 leads, that's going to be 7 figures of income forever, right? You got to get there. You got to get there fast. You got to get there within a few years. You're going to need social leads, pay-per-click leads, right? The whole thing. Strangle your market. Mike, what were you going to say, man?
I wanted to give a testimonial. I've been on PPC for the beta for the last couple months, and we're already closing deals every single month. It's every month they're closing. So I just wanted to give a kudos to the performance early on in the beta.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and you know, the reason we call it 2.0 is because we are doing a lot of things that our competition is not. You know, you guys know I don't I'm not a hype guy, right? I mean, I will definitively tell you, I think we are doing PPC better, you know, by a very large percentile than our competition. Why is that? Because instead of doing the static way of doing PPC before, what we're doing is called dynamic PPC. And there's a lot of different ways that we're going to make it dynamic, or we have made it dynamic. One example of that is we're actually taking real-time data and we're putting it into your ads, right? So instead of saying new Calgary homes for sale, we actually say there's 910 new Calgary's homes for sale, you know, 68 open houses, this many of that's price reductions, all that kind of stuff, right? So when someone types in new homes for sale and they see everyone else's ads and your ads are going to stand out because they are so much more specific, right? That's just one of like 6 or 7 different examples of what we're doing that is very different. And the end result is you're going to get higher quality PPC leads, as Mike has attested. You're going to get more leads than you're going to get from the competition because of what we call something called partial leads, which I'll explain more in our webinar then. And all of our ads are more relevant, and it helps you beat out established brands, even like Zillow RDC, when we're bidding on keywords.
It's okay, G. I'll be your hype man. Let me just say, PPC 2.0 is like hiring the most expensive PPC manager that gives incredible hyper local leads that have high search intent, and nobody at the national level is running ads like this. And so you're getting like really good leads for a lower cost than anything I've ever seen for PPC. I just want to say that the professors have 98 questions to answer, so they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. Well, last thing, and then we're going to get to the professors and ask us anything. We are very close to having our first version of Wailopa Home Search 2.0 done, right? This has been over a year undertaking, as you guys can imagine. Building out a completely new home search from the bottom up is very difficult. We are launching our beta of that in May, and we are aiming for a public launch once we've gotten, you know, rid of all the bugs and all the kind of stuff, sometime in the late June, maybe even early July timeframe. We're working for a late June. Our home search website, as you can see here, is going to be new and improved in so many different ways. We hired one of the top UX UI designers in the industry who actually did a redesign of Realtor.com a couple of years ago to do our UX UI, right? So you're gonna love the look and feel of the new entire experience. We have optimized the site top to bottom to be optimized for speed and mobile friendliness, right? So it's gonna be even faster than what our current site it performs at, which is really important for things like pay-per-click as well as for social. And we are going to have loaded in there new features. Everything from a advanced map search that is going to be at parity with Zillow, RDC, and all of the major portals. So you can finally have a map view and map search that your clients aren't going to leave for one of the portals. There is a whole new prospect profile section that's being built out so they can actually see all of their favorites, all of their searches. They can create new ones, all that kind of stuff. So loads of other features as well that are being added, like for instance, the ability to schedule a tour right on the listing details page. So we will reveal all of that in the next couple of months here. We will be reaching out to specific clients to get on the beta as early as in the next 2 weeks here. All right, we are on to the Ask Us Anything. Got 107 questions.
So should we just start, Barry? Do you want to just kind of start at the top of the questions? I should say the ones that came in first.
Sounds good to me. What app do you recommend for creating short walkthrough videos? That Zillow has that feature. It's super easy. What do you guys recommend for short walkthrough videos?
I'll tell you one thing that I'd recommend is not just so much an app, but equipment. If you don't have a good phone stabilizer, like a gimbal, go get one. Something as simple as like if you use an iPhone, you can turn your video settings to 4K shutter speed and get amazing video. So it's just about using equipment you already have, or like I said, for 89 to $100, buy a gimbal, get one shipped to you, use that. It improves the quality of your video exponentially.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've been doing
All right.
the videos using, like he said, I have a little teeny gimbal camera. It was recommended to me from another agent in California. But I upload them to my YouTube page so that it's easy to share a link. It also allows me to share it with multiple people if I want, and then they have the option to subscribe to my page, which they can see my other videos.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. G, how can we link both of these announcements, the buyer programs at the top of our website?
Yeah, so you can do an announcement ribbon on your branded site through Squarespace, and you can link to it that way. So you can actually have, like, I think I showed you guys, you know, Mike Novak's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually do this right here and just include 2 links, one for buyers and one for sellers. It's called a
Okay. And if you were to go to our Zendesk and type how to do that, would you just type create ribbon maybe?
I do not think so. I think that you
we don't have that.
type,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good one. Kiwi, if you're still on, let's make sure we have a you know, a add ribbon function in the knowledge base. But right now, I believe you type in virtual buyer program, you know, and so if you type in virtual buyer program, there is going to be a video right here.
Okay.
That is going to teach you how to edit it.
All right. So virtual buying program. Also, G, virtual seller program. Is it up yet? The site on our branded sites?
Yes, it is. It's available for everyone.
All right. Let's see.
And here's the virtual selling program. You can do virtual buyer or virtual seller.
These are all G questions. I want to stick it to the
Livia, Mike, Laura, you guys
here.
are welcome to look through the Q&A channel as well. And you can ask questions to us, G, Barry, or answer questions. A lot of questions here.
There are. I do want to
Why do
reiterate
we have the system?
on the creating Diva ads and sharing them on Facebook. We did have an agent that escalated it up to our MLS. Every MLS is different, but make sure you're obtaining approval from the listing agent if it isn't your listing before you do that as a share on Facebook, and try to get it in an email or a text if you are going to do that, just so it doesn't look like you're falsely advertising to a consumer another agent's listing.
Another tidbit
All
on
right.
that too. Another tidbit on that too, depends on the brokerage you work with. Some brokerages open up pretty much all of their inventory for all their agents. So check your broker's policy on shared marketing inside of your own brokerage. Depending on the size of it, if you have a lot of agents and a lot of market share, you can get a lot of opportunity to do this.
And guys, Barry and everyone, let's try to answer questions publicly, because when someone asks a question, the knowledge is for everybody, obviously.
Yeah, Laura, do you recommend giving most of the Ylopo agents access? Bernier, you as well, and Livia, anybody want to speak to giving admin access to your agents?
You mean for
doing the virtual tours and?
No, I don't. It depends on the size of your team. If you've got a very large team, I think that could get pretty crazy pretty quickly. I would prefer, for me in an organization like that, I would prefer to have a point person to do that. It may not be me, it may be my support staff, but I don't want individual agents running around in the mission control dashboard creating ads.
So to that point, we've got a pretty large organization, and for that quality control, we've got entire departments built out with both virtual assistants and domestic employees here that manage all of that, because we don't want agents in there messing it up, but we know they're not going to do it anyway, and they're not going to do it right. So we have to accommodate it. So we've hired for that, and it works really well.
So, hey, G, I think Tommy has a good question here. He said the virtual buyer and seller info is only on our branded pages. Can we have the ad blocks that show up? So these are the BAM boxes, G, the branded advertising message boxes that show up inside the home search results on our search site to be ads for the virtual home buyer and virtual home seller info with links to those pages.
Good idea.
So the answer is yes. You can reach out to support and request it specifically for yourself. You're going to have to create the ad. So you're going to have to create the ad copy, all of that good stuff. We're not going to do it for you, but you can absolutely edit that block yourself. So that is something that's very cool, but it is not something we're doing by default. And you have to fill out a form with basically what do you want the ad to say, where do you want to link to and all this kind of stuff. But it is possible, yes. And
All right,
it's
so here's
email
G-
support for that.
G Kiwi question. Let's go pick up the speed here. G Kiwi question for the brand website. Is there a template to create a page for recruiting agents? For the brand website, is there a template to create a page for recruiting agents?
We can do it. Not right now. We're betaing that. We have a whole page that we have designed out that's a beta, but it is, still being refined, and it is not something that we have available publicly.
So with that being said, Howard, I'd like to add, we did a custom one through, we went right to Squarespace directly and did it. So I don't know if that's something that you want, to talk about how people can do that, but it was a whole project. It took us 2 months to do the whole thing, but we've got our own recruiting machine going to that site that Ylopo didn't do for us. They just pointed us in the right direction.
Okay, we're on Follow Up Boss. Is there a way to route an individual ad pointed to a Ylopo page to a certain group of agents?
Yes. What you do is when you create the custom ad, you ask Ylopo to create a tag, whatever the tag is for the ad, and then you go to the lead source Ylopo and you go to advanced routing rules and you say, Follow Up Boss, if you see this tag, whatever the tag is you told Ylopo to add to that custom ad, send it to this agent or this group, and then it does it.
Okay, when a new lead comes in and Raya engages them, so maybe this is for Levia. When a new lead comes in and Raya engages them, are you calling them too or giving Raya a chance to get them engaged?
I let Raya start the conversation, but I'm watching it closely. Most times I'm jumping in as Raya to set up the time that I'm going to call. So if they're responding to Raya, let them respond. It is wise to jump in and take over if you're available, because you can still, they don't know it's you. They still think it's Raya, and you schedule the phone call for your within the next 2 minutes.
Cool. G, so what is the difference when I opt out of a current, I'm sorry, does someone else want to answer that?
I was going to say, I'd like to add something. What's been successful for us too is letting Raya run. But if Raya's not getting the response, we'll also call. So we're trying to hit them on 2 different ways of communication. Sometimes people answer the phone, sometimes it's text. So we kind of mix it up. If Raya doesn't get a response back, we'll call. If Raya is getting a response back, we'll see where the conversation is going and wait for the right moment, like Livia's talking about, to jump in. So, we're always kind of toggling back and forth between phone calls and text.
All right, G, you're going to hate me for asking this one. I'm sorry, someone else want to say something?
I was going to say, we don't know what their preferred method of communication is until we get communication started. So in my world, it's phone calls, emails, text messages, any way that we can get going with these people. So I don't think it's an either or situation. I think it's an all of the above situation.
All right, G's going to punch me for asking this question, but I'm just sharing it. Raya question from David. Feature request. He loves feature requests. Can Raya integrate with Calendly to schedule 15-minute consultation appointments? Someone else is doing this, and it's working out very well.
Yeah. Hey, you can always make feature requests. Doesn't mean we're going to do it, right? That one is probably not going to happen anytime soon. Let me put it that way. It is technically going to be very difficult to do that. You can always send out a Calendly link yourself, though. You can take over a Raya conversation, send out a Calendly link.
Okay, so that's really smart. So guys, you go into Stars, right? Take over the Raya conversation. We're always encourage you, take over the Raya conversation. Send out your Calendly link, right? There's Raya's there to bide you some time, okay, and get a lot of conversations going, but it's not there to replace you. So I think that's a great idea. Great idea, G.
Yep.
Okay, Barry, after your 10 days attempts to contact a new lead, what functions do you remove from them? I'm not sure I understand the question, but Barry, after your 10 days attempts to contact a lead, what functions do you remove from them?
Yeah, so first of all, this kind of segues into, I'm doing a CRM specific master classes. So there'll be to start, there'll be Follow Up Boss, FirePoint, and LionDesk. To answer the question, if I was on your team, Barry, what would you tell me to do? And pretty much on all of them, the theory is the first 10 days, we hit them really hard because there's a new conversion. They just registered. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit. But at some point, you've got to make a decision with your flow. How long are you going to focus on those new leads? And old school lead follow-up was keep calling until they buy or die, is the expression. And what we do is, because YLOPO remarketing is such a force, it's such a new constant in our business, after 10 days, we ignore them until they trigger some kind of alert. Why priority, AI needs follow-up, and hand raiser. If they don't trigger an alert, they go into the abyss. I'm not worried about them because I've got more new leads and I've got more priority alerts.
At some point you have to prioritize. We all know that statistically speaking, most agents can't handle more than 100 leads at a time efficiently and effectively. So you've got to manage what you've got coming in, and you want to prioritize your prospecting time to put you in front of the people that are most likely going to be ready to communicate with you. And so with YLOPO, we have an insight into behavior that indicates, other than just how many times they're visiting the website, we have other indications of behavior, so we can keep ourselves prioritized by staying in front of certain smart lists, like Barry mentioned, based on the type of tags, which are based on the behavior of the lead that indicates to you they're more likely to want to talk to you. So you don't need to be pounding a lead over and over and over again. You just wait, like Barry said, do the first 10 days, hit them hot and heavy, and wait for the next significant behavior and start that cycle again.
So I'd like to add something to that too. So just so everybody understands, when we're talking about the 10 days, we're really talking about, your basic action plan and cadence for communication is really front loaded. Why? Because we don't always know their intention right off the bat. We can only assume that they want to do something in real estate right now. So we front load our communication until it becomes apparent that they probably don't want to do something right now. Then we back off and let the system run. I think what happens is people have a tendency to micromanage, and they don't want to let the system run. They just want to jump in and try to get hold of everybody all the time. And you can't focus on 100 people and at the same time. You have to focus on what's going to stand out, raise their hand and say, focus on me. But if you're not looking in the right direction to catch that, you're not going to.
And to be able to look in the right direction is what YLOPO is giving us that ability to do. So it's keeping them coming back. I think somebody mentioned it's very similar to what Zillow's doing, right? I call it my YLOPO black hole. They just don't go away. They come in and they keep coming back. But not only is it doing that piece of it for us, it's giving us through the tags the indications of it's keeping the right people in front of us, keeping our eyes on the right people. But you've got to learn your tag system and set up your filtration system so you're seeing that activity.
Hey guys, here's a question from Thane. When I receive a Realtor.com lead in Follow Up Boss, can we configure YLOPO to automatically create the appropriate listing alert with an appropriate price range, beds, baths, etc.? I was told that my previous CRM did not support that feature. Barry, G?
I was answering a question. Can you say the question again?
Say that one more time.
Okay. When I receive a Realtor.com lead in Follow Up Boss, can we configure YLOPO to automatically create the appropriate listing alert with an appropriate price range, beds, baths, etc.? I was told that my previous CRM did not support that feature.
Yeah, Follow Boss, we definitely support that. That's called an auto import. So you just have to email support@YLOPO.com and say, I want to set up Realtor.com as an auto import source, and set it up as a buyer, and that's it. That's all you have to do. We automatically import all of those leads. We create listing alerts for them. Raya turns on for them. Everything is automated.
Which, by the way, we've got somewhere around 30,000 leads in our lead database, and we're closing Realtor.com leads that are 12 to 18 months old. We closed one this last year that was 5 years old. So it imports really well. We use Follow Up Boss, and Realtor.com was a main source for a long time. We're still closing really old Realtor.com leads all the time, so it works really well.
Hey, Barry, I'm new to YLOPO and was hoping you could point me to some beginner videos. What's the answer?
So currently we have a new user co-assemble course that support is going to be providing. And if you're on Follow Up Boss, FirePoint, and LionDesk, within the next, within the next 2 weeks, you're going to have some really good courses. And these professors that you see on, I've got videos of them. I will have videos of them at different parts of it as well. So that's what I would recommend. And
Yeah,
office hours every Wednesday at 12 East Coast time.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, office hours with Barry.
Yeah, so if anyone is new, anyone wants to get a refresher on Ylopo in general and their CRM, email support and ask them to be enrolled in our new course. We are testing out a new course platform that's taken us 6 months to build out that is going to have interactive courses for everything Ylopo, everything for our CRMs that Professor Barry is putting together. And if you want to access that, we're sending it to new clients right now. But if you are a new client, you haven't gotten it yet, you want a refresher, just email us and ask for our course and we will enroll you.
Alex asks, I have listings in the area outside of my board where the listings are not getting pulled into the data feed. There are 5 listings in the outside area. I'm assuming it's theirs. Is there a way to implement manual listings upload to use for Diva and possibly social ads in the future?
So yes, not for Diva, but we will set up ads for you on that. If you go into your mission control dashboard and you go to the very bottom where it says custom ads, right? And you will be able to do a custom ad for coming soon or off market listings. All you have to do is fill this out, give us a link to Dropbox or Google Drive of all the photos, and we will create that ad for you. So there's no way to upload in our system because we only accept listings in the MLS that we are pulling in from. But if you want to set up custom ads for those, you absolutely can give us the assets and we'll set that up for you.
All right, panel, how do we add a pop-up on our search site like Barry has that allows to chat with the site visitor?
Email support and we will give you the steps for doing that. You have to give us some code from your Facebook page in order for us to set up what's called a messenger widget. And so email support will send you the guide on what you need to get us, and then we'll set it up on your site.
Be careful, it works.
Yes.
You need to check your Facebook messages to that business page, just so it does work. I actually attached an ISA to that business page for that exact reason, because people do message in and they're comfortable with the Facebook Messenger.
So Barry, quick question. What hours are you manning that, or should I say your ISA is manning that feature?
So that particular ISA is in Manila, and he's been with me for 2.5 years, and he is incredibly grateful to have a steady paycheck with a boss that's not mean to him, and so he's on it like you and I would be, kind of like he's always watching it. But that's a unique situation. I would say for most ISAs, if they're on the state side, it's going to be 40 hours a week, and then somebody that's motivated to get leads is going to be working that on the off hours. And then you can also hook up ManyChat to that. I'm getting super nerdy now, but and actually have a workflow that leads to search results on your Ylopo website. So it says, do you want a ranch or a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 200,000? Great, here's a link, and it drives them to the search result. So it's almost like a double conversion in a matter of sense.
Okay, you got 3 great questions. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say, so you're using ManyChat. You could probably use Chatfuel, any chatbot that you really wanted to, if you're not manning the platform at the time, correct?
I'm sorry, man. I was reading another question. Can you say it again?
Say it again.
I was just clarifying for everybody that whether it's ManyChat, Chatfuel, whatever you want to use for a chatbot, you could, when you're not manning that physically, you can always plug in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and honestly, the chatbot does really well inside of Messenger, but that's, again, super techie, super nerdy, and I don't think everybody has to have that. They can just make sure you check the messages in your, there's a Facebook business page app.
You could have your agents running like virtual floor time on that too. Anybody that's responsible for it, so you could have that agent on duty thing going too.
Hey, Blair says, need seller leads. Can PPC help us get seller leads is my question.
Yes. So we are building out, as part of our HomeBot integration, a seller lead generation platform for both social and for PPC. So the answer is yes, to be TBD on what that will look like.
Okay, so guys, this is for the whole panel because it's going to take a little creativity here. This is from our superstar client, Brian Kim. is there a suggestion for a platform to make an operations manual, preferably a non-subscription model, a non-monthly SaaS model? So Brian's looking to create an operations manual, I think, for his brokerage. Any suggestions? It's a tough one. It's a little far afield from what we're doing. Crickets? We got crickets here? Brian stumped us.
I'm old school and
I like Trello.
Trello?
Sorry, can you repeat the
I
question?
do. Yeah.
Okay, the question is there a suggestion for a platform to make an operations manual, preferably something that he doesn't have to pay every single month to subscribe to?
So we just did ours that out of Trainual. So Trainual is going to be more of a video platform, and Barry I think just said Trello, which you can do, Trello and kind of piece it together that way. That's how we've done it too. But if you want to, you can use something like Trainual and make it more of a learning management style with text, with video, with everything. That's what we just started transitioning to, and we love it.
And Lauren just chimed in on the chat. WayWeDo, W-A-Y-W-E-D-O, WayWeDo is great for process development and creating operations manuals. Okay, I love this question, G. I am a loan officer. This is from Miguel. Loan officer, any update on when you will launch the mortgage side, mortgage lead gen? I would like to test a dummy, please. You want to test a dummy? Test me. No, I was like, go ahead, G. When are we doing mortgage?
Yeah. We are working on it actually right now. We are working on a refi-specific mortgage platform. Time frame TBD. But if you would like a beta to be a beta user of that, just email me directly, g@wellup.com. I'll put your name down.
I would like to volunteer for the panel for the test a dummy webinar. I want to really contest on that.
So I want to brag on, I mean, I know I'm a YLOPO professor and everything and a realtor in residence, but the way that YLOPO has pivoted in the last 4 weeks, and so they've always got things in the pipe, right? G and Howard and Barry are always cooking up new stuff. And so they had this sort of timeline for all of these new technologies and developments. And then along came coronavirus. And so I want to pat you guys on the back because you had all of this stuff in the works and you said, and you pivoted, right? And you created this new virtual technology and all these really great tools for us. And yet you've still got stuff coming in the pipeline that was planned ahead. So I don't mind a slight delay because of what you guys have done to help us pivot very quickly during the coronavirus. So just thumbs up. I want to throw that out there, guys.
We appreciate that, Laura. These are tough times for all of our clients. These are tough times for us. And we've been saying it for weeks, right? I got the two mantras, which is what we do today will live in eternity. So hopefully our clients will remember everything we've been trying to do during this crisis. And we're trying to give you guys tools so you can do things for your buyers and sellers that they will always remember, remember in eternity. And then we'll also cultivate and conquer, right? Cultivate and conquer. Never been a better time, going full circle to the beginning of the prez. Never been a more cost-effective way to build your database. Never been a better time to communicate with buyers and sellers. Guys, we're talking about 1 million to 1.5 million pent-up transactions when we come out of this. Cultivate and conquer. This is all about us getting through this together. And we are going to, the YLOPO community is going to dominate. We are going to take massive, massive market share. Sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering before we're done, there's something that's been kind of bugging me since we were talking about it in the first hour. We were talking about, people were asking about switching CRMs. So if we get through enough questions, I wonder if we could spend a minute talking about why to switch CRMs. I see a lot of people just jumping from CRM to CRM without any real result thereof. So I would like to just kind of go over everybody's thought on why you should transition or why you should not transition CRMs before we're done.
Well, I know Livia has made, she made a CRM transition. And, I know that, Livia, you liked the CRM that you were with. And
yeah, I haven't not liked any of the CRMs. They all have benefits, pluses and minuses. I think the most important thing, Barry said it repeatedly, the best CRM for you is the one that you're going to use. So if you find that you or your agents aren't deep diving, or there's missing pieces or components that you need, talk to your CRM first of all and find out if it's in the pipeline to come before you do a big transition. But then if you do transition for whatever reason, make sure that you pinpoint what those touch items are that you're really missing, and confirm they're going to work for you. And then I think the biggest thing that you need to think about is, what can you not live without in terms of what your records are right now? Because if you, let's say you're switching, you need to find out what's exporting and what can be imported. If you have all these notes and they're not going to pull all the notes, you want to confirm somehow that it can be obtained and then you can pull it over before you make that switch. And then look at Barry summed it up really well once, where he described what each CRM is similar to, because the way your brain works, you're going to take to one CRM over another just for ease of use. We switched from Follow Up Boss to FirePoint. We did it for specific things we needed, and we were able to get that. We're testing out Sierra right now, just because I have a lot of realtors that I coach with that use Sierra, and I want to know what the system has. And it's got really cool features that FirePoint doesn't yet have. But there's not going to be one perfect system, and you shouldn't be jumping ship every time you want a new feature.
I'd like to add to that too, because I mean, I always look at it like this: complexity really kills workflow and growth, right? It's keep it simple. So a lot of times in a CRM, if your agents if it seems like your agents don't like the CRM, they're confused by it, it's clunky, the thought process is to switch to cure that problem. But a lot of times I see it that it's not so much the CRM, it's just the agents themselves don't want to follow any process. So team leaders will keep switching and switching and trying to fix the problem, when the problem's not the technology, the problem's the accountability. So I just want to kind of warn people of that before you start jumping around. Make sure you know exactly what problem you're trying to solve, and then you're not overlooking that one piece. That sometimes it's really the accountability and the agents you have, not the technology.
And to that point, make sure your agents have actually done the training on the CRM you have. Sometimes they're really frustrated, and when you dig into it, they haven't even checked out what they can do within the CRM.
Again, yeah, it goes back to accountability, because if they're not even, plugged into what you have, what's the chances they're going to get plugged into something that you bring on? Because now it's a switch, it's a pain point, they're really going to reject it. So again, simplicity is going to help growth. Complexity kills growth. There are CRMs that really are hard to use. I can attest to that. The more simple it is for you and your team, the better. But you have to get your team fully on board with it, or no CRM is going to work.
This is a really good question, G. Going back to HomeBot, G, is there anything we should be doing in preparation for HomeBot? Should I have my agents tag the sellers will want touched by or imported into HomeBot?
Yes, it will not work on tags, right? We were actually going to come up with a Excel template for all of you to put in your seller leads into. We need, for us to import a seller for, our HomeBot seller alerts, we need a home address, right? So if you want to go back, clean up your records right now, find all of your sellers, find their home addresses, put it into a city, state, zip code, a street address, city, state, zip code type of format in each column. That's great prep work for you to do. But we will share the template that you will need to conform your data to, when we announce the HomeBot integration in a couple of weeks, but it will not work on tags. That's the reason, is because we want to audit all of the data you give us, make sure it's properly formatted, all of that good stuff. So you can get it together now, but you won't get the final template that you need to give us until we do the webinar.
Okay, a couple of questions which are around PPC and seller lead gen. Will we need to be a level 1 or higher for PPC and or seller lead gen?
Yes to both. And the main reason is because those leads cost more money, right? They're about, probably PPC leads is 2x, a social lead, a seller lead's probably going to be somewhere between $10 to $20, depending on your market. And you just can't do that type of advertising on $300 marketing budget. So you will need to be a level 1 or higher to access those.
And G, if somebody wants to investigate, like adding budget, pay-per-click budget to their social spend, should they email marketing or support?
email support@wailopo.com. If it's a marketing question, it will get redirected to marketing. Yep.
Okay. So can we give price points or community subdivisions that we want to zero in on for PPC? So, for pay-per-click, we're basically automating the long tail, right? So we're going to basically, have super high quality search intent, pay-per-click, neighborhoods, subdivisions, school districts, all that kind of stuff. But what's really, really cool, and there's like 7 crazy cool things about G's pay-per-click, what I call it 2.0. And one of the things is that, long tail is great, except when there's like 0 listings in that neighborhood or subdivision. So automatically, we're not going to be spending your money and bidding automatically when there's not enough listings in that part of the long tail. So that will save you guys money. So when there are enough listings in that neighborhood or subdivision, then the ads will work. We're going to be able to do differential zip code bidding as well. So, someone lives in a $1 million house, someone lives in a $200,000 house. They both search on XYZ homes for sale. Everybody's bidding the same. But honestly, if you're looking into a $1 million community, the person who already lives in a $1 million community is worth more than the person who lives in a $200,000 home. We've automated this. I mean, what G has been doing, mad scientist stuff, guys, it's crazy. I'm the hype guy. He's not, right? He's very modest. But what he's doing, I've seen pay-per-click since the Tiger League days, same stuff for the last 12 years, all the competition, same stuff, right? We are taking it to the next level. It is unbelievable. But again, you've got to build your database. You've got to build your pipeline. You got to be all over social. Don't abandon your social spend because you're going to get twice as many leads on Facebook, Instagram, but add the pay-per-click spend. Cool. All right. Any other questions? We're trying to get these open questions down. We're almost down to zero. Pretty awesome.
There's another good one here that I think for the professors to answer. Do you supply the CRM for your team or do you charge them for it?
I'll start. I provide it for my agents, and because I believe it should be a funnel that can be remarketed to, even if they're doing their own generating of people through different resources, we suck that into the same CRM. So the cost is mine, but they're allowed to do their marketing and suck it in, and it gets assigned to them in the CRM.
And we've done it the same way, both on the brokerage enterprise account with over 500 agents, as well as a team account that we're running our own separate, team leads in there. And we haven't charged agents for it. And we've ran a lot of different lead sources in there. So we can then, we don't care where the leads are coming from. We've got 1,000 different lead sources. But once they hit the CRM, now we're remarketing them all through Wailopo. So it's a great added extra value for our agents. And it's just getting us tons of local engagement and tons of local branding. Everybody knows who we are. So, for us, it's actually been, the ROI is hard to measure, but it's been a huge ROI for just giving the agents the access to use it.
And in that line, Holly asks, what do you charge your agents for the Wailopo leads? Or do you just you're doing just, that commission split, obviously?
So as a broker, what I'm doing as a team, it's a 50-50 split. As a broker, if they're not on the team, what we'll do is we'll sell them ad spend proportionally. If they want to spend $200 a month into our ad spend, we'll proportion it out, give them a zip code to work in, and then they'll take the leads from that. We also will sell them listing rocket ads. Divas are $100 a pop. So somebody that's not paying a Wailopo budget, they'd have to pay $1,000 a month or more to really get started with Wailopo. They can pay per listing rocket if they want with us, and they're killing on leads with that. We're closing listing rockets, within the office, and they don't have a Wailopo platform. So we've learned to leverage that.
So this is so funny. The last question that none of us wanted to answer from Gabe was, can we run our own Facebook ads driving traffic to our Wailopo site? Obviously, we want to run your Facebook ads for you. It's what we do for a living. It's how we keep the lights on. But G, I will let you ask the most difficult question of the day, answered by Gabe. Can we run our own Facebook ads driving traffic to our Wailopo site?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just want to show this live, which is why I didn't answer it. But basically, simple answer is absolutely, of course. We have a lot of clients that do that. If you run your own Facebook ads, there's two types of ads you can run, right? First is a regular click ad or traffic generating ad. In that case, what you're going to want to do is act like a consumer, come onto the home search website, do whatever search you want, and then grab the URL that you're having and then send all the traffic to that, right? If you don't do anything, so just log in like a consumer would on your home search website, right? And then once you're logged in, just grab the URL that you have to do a search, right? Let's say I'm generating only leads from Virginia Beach right now. I would just select Virginia Beach, see listings, right? Or if I'm generating leads only from Virginia Beach that have a virtual tour, just go down and click the virtual tour button. And now this is going to show all of the homes that have a virtual tour, right? Just grab the URL at the very top and then paste that into Facebook as where you want to drive all of the traffic, and boom, you've created a Facebook ad, right? So you absolutely can do that. The second type of ad that you can run on Facebook is what's called a Facebook lead ad. Facebook lead ad captures the contact information of the lead right on Facebook, right? So it's a very attractive ad unit. It's what we use for all of the leads we generate for you. What you're going to want to do is put this URL in the destination URL section of your Facebook lead ad so that once they register, they will come back into this home search website, right? So you can do either of those ads. Just remember to act like a consumer, come into your home search website, grab the URL, and that's the URL you're going to advertise.
Well, Howard, one thing about this, if you're going to do it on your own, your ad's life cycle is not going to be forever. I mean, there's going to come a point in time where it's just going to run out of steam. And so it's not to say that you shouldn't do Facebook advertising on your own. It's to say that you just need to understand the place that it will have. Whereas with the dynamic ads, you're getting a catalog uploaded, a new catalog every day of new MLS listings. And that is dramatically different. So again, I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying understand that it's a temporary type solution.
I'm going to say something from a coach's perspective here on that. I think real estate is the only business I know of where we come into this alone and think we can do it all and that we can do it all really well. But there are certain things that you guys are great at that make you money. And there are certain things that we have to do that don't make us money. Running ads indirectly makes us money, but that's a skill set that I don't want to have to spend time learning when I can just get on the phone and do my prospecting and set appointments that are worth thousands of dollars to me versus sitting around trying to figure out how to post a Facebook ad and make it work right. So that's just my 2 cents as a coach. I understand that some people have a talent in that area and they enjoy doing it, and that's great. But from a business perspective, I'd rather outsource that to someone who can do it faster and better than I can, and I can focus in on my money makers.
Time is money. Time is money.
I'm also gonna add to that too, as another coach's perspective. The dream way to spend your day in real estate is to be back to back with high intent buyers and sellers. That is the dream. Like that is where you make all of your revenue. You're a revenue generator in real estate. You're not a technician that should be posting Facebook ads. Your job is to generate revenue and outsource all that other stuff. The sooner you get that through your head, the more money you're going to make in real estate. It's just that simple.
Yep.
G, I've got a question from Charles. I'm just going to read it because I'm not sure I fully understand it. As a lead ad, does it then create them to force register again?
Yes. So basically the question is, when you drive someone from a Facebook lead ad to our website, right? We don't know when you generate it and send it to our website, we don't know this is a consumer who has registered. No website does, right? So after they view a couple of listings, there's going to be another registration pop-up that comes up because again, we have no idea this person already registered on your lead ad, right? So there creates an opportunity to have a double registration, which is of course not a great user experience. If you're running ads on your own, there's no way to remove that. There's no platform out there that will remove that for you. Lead ads that we run ourselves because we know in our system we're running this ad and that user has registered on their website and comes to our website. We have developed custom integration technology, so there's no double registration, but there's no way for you to eliminate the double registration on your own. So that's a disadvantage of you running lead ads onto our platform.
Guys, we're at 4 minutes after 1 o'clock. We've been on for 2 hours. I want to, thank all of the folks who've hung in there all the way to the end. Special shout out to our group of panelists, right? Thank you, G and Barry, Levia, Mike, and Laura, and to the group that's still with us. I hope you guys thought this was helpful. We're coming on. Do not miss the webinar in a couple of weeks on HomeBot. That is a game changer. I want to give a special shout out to Brad, who's been in our audience, who's just been chirping in super positive stuff. And you guys know I love positive stuff. It's easy to nitpick and find bad things and be upset with stuff, but I'm always really cognizant of when someone is just super positive and recognizes, the effort that's being made on a lot of people's parts. So Brad, thanks for all the positivity. I love it. Mike, yeah, parting. We're going to go through the panel here. Parting shots, words, comments from our superstar panel. Mike, we will start with you.
I just want to know on your next webinar, are you going to have a more defined COVID do, or you think it'll be tamed down by then? I'm just.
Yeah, you don't know. Mike and I are just chirping at each other every day. The hair is getting bigger. I have a tremendous amount of Crew hair gel. So you want to put that in. We'll create a Ylopo wiki on that. I've gone from the medium hold to the extra firm hold. If I did not have all of that product in my hair, you guys remember Back to the Future? The mad scientist guy, who was that in the white lab coat with the hair?
Max Brown.
That's what I look like. But I refuse to actually get a haircut until this is all done. So we're going to see. And that's why I've been wearing my LA Dodgers hat quite a bit. So thanks, Mike. Is that really your parting shot?
That's all I got, man. That's all
okay. I knew why we put you on the panel. Okay. Who wants to go next?
The COVID roots, right?
COVID
so
roots?
I went blonde like about a month before COVID hit. And so, yeah. So welcome to my world with the black roots and the blonde hair. But I'm just going to rock it like it's supposed to be that way.
Awesome. Okay, good. We're parting shots. We're supposed to give encouragement, tell our folks what to be doing, and now we're talking about hair. Levia.
I want to say my challenge is digging deep on the video with virtual right now, you guys. It is a game changer. For two reasons. One, you are absolutely filling a need that the community of home buyers and sellers has already said they need. But two, you are completely, without having to do anything more than offer these things, differentiating yourself from every other realtor out there. This is a chance to show you're cutting edge. You've got the infrastructure, you've got the technology, and you've got the foresight to pivot fast. And Ylopo is just doing that pivot for you. You just get to kind of ride it and be the face of it. It's awesome.
I would like to give my real parting ways, and then I'm done. So I've got an agent on my team. I'm going to call his name out because he's probably watching this. His name is Eric Moody, back in Minnesota from Realty Group. He's closing 6 Ylopo leads in May.
Wow.
His words to me were, I'm not participating in the COVID fear and nightmare. Literally, I'm just ignoring it, and I'm going to figure out ways to pivot and do business and just not buy into the negativity, fear, or anything else, and just go do business. And you know what? It's a record month. 6 transactions all by himself. So just want to let everybody know that business might be unusual. It's not business as usual. It's business is unusual right now, but it's still business.
I think too, Mike, thinking about the future, traditionally we think about selling real estate. We go out, we show homes, we do everything in person with people. I think as a result of this, I think we're going to have an increased amount of business because we're not only going to be meeting with people in person in the future, but now that we've mastered the virtual side of this thing, how many more clients are we going to be able to serve virtually in addition to being live face-to-face? I think those of us who have pivoted during COVID are going to do better than we've ever done before once this is passed.
I mean, Barry Jenkins hasn't left that room in 3 years. He's been training for this for a long time.
It's true.
Barry, parting comments, parting shot.
Well, I mean, I used to use Crew hair gel, but honestly,
No more hair stuff. Come on. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So seriously, I've said it several times. I'm going to say it again. in 2008, I waited 12 months for it to be like 2007. And if you find yourself saying, when, fill in the blank, when I, or when the, then I will. So for example, when mortgages are easier, then I'll sell a lot. Or when people want to see homes, then I'll sell. You have caught yourself in a trap of waiting for the things around you to change. You can't control others. You can't control markets. You can't control tomorrow. All you can control is your response to what's happening around you. And so I learned in 2008 not to do that ever again. And so the second things look different around me, I pivoted immediately. My huddles changed, our showings changed, our processes changed, and we're better for it. I have not had a disruption in business. My market has. That, and then secondarily, I would say that the reason why I'm working on these CRM master classes is because it is my opinion that if you are individually, if you're a person that's calling, texting, or emailing leads, so you're in sales, if you're in sales, CRM mastery is imperative. You've got to use it. It's supposed to de-stress your day. It's supposed to take a big old mess and make it plain. And because Ylopo is bringing the old leads back, it is requiring a new level of organization. And it used to be all you had was new, and CRMs were helping you engage the new. But now Ylopo is bringing the old back, which we're all excited about. But because we haven't mastered our CRM, we don't have it organized enough to where we can capitalize. There you go. And I do like crew, Joe.
G, final words.
Come to the webinar for HomeBot in a couple weeks, guys. That is the one you don't want to miss. I want to see ideally 1,500 clients on that webinar because, like I said, it's going to take some time to get all of you into our systems. This is going to be our biggest release for at least the first half of 2020. Just like automated ISA, Raya, we have 90% adoption of Raya from all of our clients because it works, right? I would want to see 95% adoption on HomeBot for the same reason. So come to that webinar, come excited. We're going to answer all of your questions. It's going to be a great one.
And guys, my parting shot is if you have a question that was not answered, we apologize, did the best we could. Type your question into the Ylopo success community, okay? We've got people watching that all the time, all right? If it's a very particular question to you, to your MLS, send your question to support@ylopo.com. We've just got a lot of great feedback. Pete Denninger out of Breckenridge, Howard, simply amazing the way your team continues to roll out new advances and gives back to the community. Pete, we really, really appreciate that. The last company, long time ago, we built that company during the Great Recession, and the clients that were with us then, they took market share and they just crushed it when everyone else cowered, right? And that's going to be the same thing that happens here, all right? Guaranteed we're coming out of this and our clients are going to come out stronger than anyone else. And my big takeaway is I always comment on this, but two of our superstar panelists, right? And Ylopo professors and realtors in residence, Livia and Mike, guys, these are two clients who called me one day, and it's years ago, and said, we're just not getting an ROI with Ylopo and we're going to cancel. And they've not only gone to these super successful, they're actually teaching others and doing transactions with Ylopo every single month. So no matter where you're at, okay, you have a system that can work. You've got to put a lot into it. And as these guys will attest, to get the rewards out. But you will get an ROI on that effort, no matter where you're at. Guys, we love you all. Appreciate you. Cannot wait to see everybody again 2 weeks from now. HomeBot, Ylopo integration.
3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from now. All right. Onward and upward, everybody. See ya.
Thank you.